So they challenged us enlisted men to a basketball game. And we had a cement court, with a hoop on each end. So we challenged the officers, and we was going to do something. And if we won, they was going to take us to the officers' club. It's a little Quonset hut. I don't know if I got a picture of that. But they're just a little Quonset hut. But they had booze they could drink, and we couldn't. But anyway, so we beat them. So they took us to this, and okay, so what do you want? I says, I don't know, what's good? And I remember this day, he says, Tom Collins. And it was like eating this, drinking this, and we had just been playing all afternoon, sweaty and...
So you're all dehydrated.
And
Yeah.
Grandpa wasn't a drinker.
No,
so
I
he
never,
wasn't used to-
over there, you couldn't get anything anyway.
but
And so anyway,
we didn't anyway. But
we drank one after another. Oh, they were good. So that night, me and my friend Earl Derrick, we went to the movie. I says, Earl, I think I'm sick. He says, I think I'm sick too. And I go, I sprayed about 4 rolls. Pretty soon. And we was watching a movie. I says, I can't see the movie. And he said, are you sick? I said, yeah. He said, me too. He sprayed all over. Pretty soon, I think just me and Earl sat there. No one else in the whole, they just sit on benches out here. So the next day I walked up there and they had some guys with a fire hose cleaning out our mess. But we had 6 different movies. So every 6th day we would watch a different movie. So every 6th day you'd get to see the same movie. But we had movies every night. But then when a ship would come in, that's the first thing you do, you change movies with them. Because they've been doing the same thing on the ship. They'd come in their little island there.
When they brought the ships in and you'd get your supplies, tell
Yes,
Krista
I
what...
like to hear the supply runner stories.
Okay. One of these ships come in and they anchor out a little ways because they can't come in. And so we send one of our landing craft out and get all this stuff in that. Then we bring it in the dock and put it on the truck. Then we take it to our warehouse. And since I was a baker and you're done by 9 o'clock every morning, you involuntarily get volunteered to anything like that.
We called it voluntold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so anyway, I volunteered to go out and unload this ship and put on the barge and bring it in and put on a truck. And to go back a little bit farther, we had a little PX, a little store. I don't know if we have any pictures of that, where we could buy cigarettes and we could buy little odds and ends, things like that. And I'd buy mine because I could sell them. But you could have so many a week. I don't even remember. But that was only 70
They'd
years
give
ago.
them to you. They'd give you the cigarettes.
But that was only 70 years ago, so I can't remember how we got them. But anyway, I would sell mine.
They were allotted.
So anyway, we unload this ship and throw all this stuff on the truck, and one of these little officers says, right up on top, make sure everything gets there. I said, okay, so I'm riding on top of that truck. And it's just like this, it's just palm trees, just solid. Like those were, pine trees. These are palm trees, just a little road right up between all these trees. And I'm sitting there riding up there and I look, hell, I'm straddling a case of Lucky Strike cigarettes. I says, I'm a millionaire. And there were 3 of them there. And so we'd go along and honest to hell, we hit a big bump and one of those cases just flew off. And I couldn't call it this guy to stop and pick it up. So I said, I'll just have to remember where it was and haul it back up to the warehouse. So when we get up to the warehouse, that little guy handed me this inventory thing. He says, check it off as it comes in. Cigarettes here, everything. Everything's good. So I'm checking down there, then I put that case of cigarettes up over, back to my little Quonset hut. I don't know. Where's my little house? Oh, there's my little house. Me and another guy lived in that house.
Okay. Oh, that's a pretty little house.
Yeah. So, but he ran the water distillation plant. We didn't have fresh water, so they had to suck water out of the ocean, run it through these big stills, make water we could use. And they had another big one out there that was broke down. They're big things. So I took that case of cigarettes out and hid it in there. Then I would take like 2 packages out at a time. And people never figured out why I never did run out. I only had 2 packs at a time. So,
Can you
anyway,
remember how much you sold them for?
I have no idea.
Were you in the military when Pearl Harbor got bombed?
No, good hell no.
He went after.
I was after that.
He was
long,
Korean.
long time after that.
No, he wasn't Korean.
He wasn't Korean.
He was World War
War
II.
II.
You were World War II?
He was
Yeah.
46, 47, 48.
Yeah, look at the date. See, that's not Korean. That's World War II.
Korean War.
Well, yeah, can you believe World War II? We went into Home Depot one day and we bought a few things, and Jim says, I'm a veteran, do you take a veteran card? And she says, oh, well, yeah.
This was in Shanghai.
And so Jim
That was in
pulled out that, and she says, World War II. Oh, World War II. She all but jumped over and hugged him. She said, World War II?
This was in our paper a couple of years ago. Read that. That's the island I was on. That's this island.
Kwajalein or whatever.
Kwajalein.
No, this Majuro.
Oh, this was
on-
Majuro.
Kwajalein. That's where we send our bombs. When we practice our Minuteman missiles, that's where we send them over to, is Kwajalein.
I was there.
That's where we bomb the ocean that's right around it with our nuclear missiles.
Yeah. In fact, I don't know if you remember, in 46 or 47 or something, they had a atomic bomb test in the Bikini. We were the closest island to it, and I was on Kwajalein then. Then I got transferred and were mature. I wasn't there very long.
In Kwajalein, you weren't very long?
No. Read that about Majuro.
Valentino Kimbar hides from the intense heat of the shade of a breadfruit tree waiting for his basketball game to begin. It was supposed to start a couple hours ago, maybe 3, but time matters little here on the Marshall Islands. Kimbar would love to stay on this tiny string atoll in the vast Pacific Ocean, which he greatly considers a precious gift from his ancestors, but he fears hotter weather and rising seas soon may force everyone to go, and that many will choose an unlikely place 6,000 miles away, Springdale, Arkansas. For more than 3 decades, Marshallese has moved in the thousands to the landlocked Ozark Mountains for better education, jobs, and health care, thanks to an agreement that lets them live and work in the U.S. This historical connection makes it an obvious destination for those facing a new threat, global warming. Kimbar, 29, last year traveled to Springdale seeking medical treatment for his 6-year-old son. Now he's considering moving permanently to secure a solid foundation for his children. Probably in 10 to 20 years from now, we're all going to move. Climate changes poses an I can't
It
read
was
that.
only 6 feet above sea level.
Thank you, Daddy.
When-
Threat
Oh,
to places like the Marshall Islands, which protrudes only 6 feet above sea level in most places. King tides, when the alignment of the Earth, Moon, and the Sun combine to produce the most extreme tidal effects, the storm surges are getting worse, residents say, causing floods that contaminate fresh water, kill crops, and erode land. As a result, some of the Marshallese think an exodus is inevitable, while others are planning to stay and fight. Foreign Minister Tony D. Broome is a vocal advocate for keeping global warming to a minimum, and a position he'll be pushing when world leaders meet in Paris next week.
Yeah, 6 feet above sea level. We had storms where it would come over the road, over the airstrip, over everything. And you'd have to clean everything off again.
How long did you keep in touch with this guy?
Huh?
How long did you keep in touch with him?
Earl, how
How long
long
did you keep in touch with him?
How long did what?
You keep in touch.
How long?
I never saw him again.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
You should have tried to.
And this guy, Ray Powers, he lived in Salt Lake. So did Earl Garrick. And I never could find either one of them again.
Look how cute you are.
Yeah. Handsome dude.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. What the hell happened?
Still handsome as ever.
Yeah. But this was, now Kwajalein, there isn't a tree on Kwajalein. That was where
No
the
palm
Japs.
trees?
Huh? No. That's where the Japs were really dug in. And they sit and bombed that thing for days and days and shelled it for days and days before they invaded it. Because they were just in bunkers and they just bombed the hell out of it. But
why?
Majuro, all the Japs left. They just pulled out before the Americans had to invade there. But my little guy that helped me in the bakery, he had all these scars. And his name was Ilung Lung. I had two of them.
Who's long?
Huh? Ilung Lung. And the other one was Tilung. And anyway, I said, what happened here? He says, American airplane. And it came right up his side. And an inch more and they would have killed him, but just skinned him up. Wow. But he says, the Japs cut my mother and father's heads off, just like this.
Wow.
They
Cut
were
'em off.
cruel
They
people.
were. That's what I
Yeah,
heard.
The Japs?
They just cut him off.
Yeah.
They were cruel.
And
And now they're our best allies.
6 feet above. But
Head
Kwajalein,
scratcher.
they wiped it right out of trees and everything. And this was, oh, I could tell you another. I sank one ship. Well, I was in the Navy, but it was one of ours.
You sank a ship?
Well, I had help. We had a PT boat there that wouldn't run. And one of the admirals or something over, I think it was Kwajalein. It was only like 300 miles away from Kwajalein or something. They says he would like to have that and get it over there and make it his, rebuild it, make it his personal gig. Because they were nice. They had two big engines in them and they were nice. So anyway, I don't know how, then again, I had volunteered. We had the LCI is landing craft. And they don't go real fast, but they putz along. We put a rope about this big around onto that PT boat, onto our landing craft. We're heading across to Kwajalein. So anyway, we gets out there and get in the storm. And that PT boat would be up there, and then we'd be down here. And pretty soon it broke the rope. So they get on the little phone and call, what are we supposed to do? We'll never be able to hook up to it again. It's a menace to navigation, sink it. And we had one great big machine gun on there. And they says, anybody ever shoot a machine gun? We all raised our hands. There was only about 8 of us on that thing. But, okay, so here we are. You strap that thing on in there, and you're heading there, and the ship goes on. You're looking straight up in the air. Then it comes down, then you're looking straight down there. And that PT boat's out there a little ways. So we can hit that. So you get there, pull the trigger, shoot in the water. Then you let off the trigger. There it is. Then you're shooting straight in the air. We missed a shot of that sucker. 9,000 rounds.
But it sunk finally?
Huh?
You finally sunk it?
We got on fire.
Oh, okay.
So, see, I added the
Yeah.
our victory
really
medal.
was.
Oh, and then on my discharge, I have a World War II victory medal. And that's because I shot one of our own PT boats.
Dad, do you still have your medals?
I'm entitled to it. I never did get it. It says I'm entitled
We
to
can
it.
get it.
Papa, do you want me to get your medals?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
wouldn't be a medal. It would just be a little.
It's just
little-
it's a ribbon.
Yeah, I don't need that. No, I don't.
I need his
With a smiley face.
Yeah.
DD 214. It will list all of his medals, and I can get them.
Yeah, see,
I don't know how to get
I
it
was
to
no
be
hero.
214.
I was no hero. But I think the good thing about it, I know I didn't kill any of the bad guys. I just hope I didn't kill any of the good guys. I mean, that's what kind of a hero I am. I just hope I didn't kill any of the bad guys. I mean, I know I didn't kill any of the bad guys. And I hope the hell I didn't
Can you
kill any of
look
the
it
good
up,
guys.
Crystal?
I might need her help, but I can get it. I can get a list of all of his medals.
Who's that?
I can get a list of all your medals.
Oh, there's just two. And they're not
Medals.
Purple
They're not like
Hearts,
the
and
Purple
they're
Heart.
not stars, and they're really
Battle medals.
yeah. They probably
You sunk a ship. That gets credit for something.
they would probably take the two away from me.
You know, they were just a bunch of kids over there.
I know
Yeah,
it.
they all
We
are.
were just
It was
kids,
right out of high school.
How old were you,
and our
Papa?
officers they just got out of
College.
yeah. They were just maybe 3 or 4 years older than we were.
18 when he went in.
Yeah, so
How old were you when you were over there, Papa?
probably 18, 19,
I got a-
18.
something like
I
that.
got a draft card when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I had to fill out a draft card.
And then they denied
They
him.
denied it. Well, no, that was this was draft
And
card.
there's
This was in
my little
high
ship
school.
there.
Right,
Because my age.
right.
But they-
But
they-
then you signed up
Oh,
and
that
they
was- yeah,
wouldn't,
that was-
and they wouldn't take you.
That was-
They-
I was not a hero.
he had sold his
So-
car.
Look,
I'm
nice job.
sorry, but that's
I was ready to fly out to
what
Florida.
you got is what you got.
I would have never met. I was that
You're
close to
my
going to the Air Force. I
hero.
was flying out that day to Florida. I was signed up for the Air Force to go to Florida. I had my bags packed. I quit my job, sold my nice truck, kissed my girlfriend goodbye. And I did everything, and I was ready to go. And I went in for your final physical. You go in for your final physical where you fly off.
Yeah.
They said, well, you're getting a hernia. And I went to 2 or 3 doctors and said, you're clean as a whistle. I said, somebody's telling me something that they don't want me in the military. I mean, I was healthy as a horse. I mean, playing sports every day. I was healthier than
He
hell.
really wasn't.
No hernia.
None.
But they said, you're getting a hernia. And I had my plane ticket in my hand. I was ready to go to the airport. I would have never met Edge. I'd have been in Florida in the military if I'd have got on that plane.
Really.
Well, and then after that, that's when he straightened up and went on his mission.
Yeah, shortly after that. But I
Right
was
there's when I was
flying out that day.
graduating.
The Air Force. You didn't know that?
Chuck went hit for his final.
And they
That's
wouldn't
you
take
right
him
there,
because
right?
of his asthma.
Is that
That
what
does
she-
say
They
quadrillion.
said, yeah.
Jim and
my
Franny
mom dropped me
Quadrillion.
off at the airport or at
I was
the
in there
dispatch
for
station. They
not
dropped me
real
off.
long.
My mom and dad said goodbyes. I'll see you
And I
in a
was
couple
there for a
years.
while.
We did Chuck
But
too.
this
I was
time
sitting
I
with my
was there
bags.
for quite a while.
I had my bags and everything, went in for my final physical.
And I was
And I
on
had to call my
that
mom, so can you come
all
get me?
through the South
I
Pacific.
quit my nice job.
And we
I had a big
sat
farewell.
6 or 8
All my
high.
friends, we had a huge farewell, and
Just
sold
sat.
my nice truck and everything. I thought, and
Oh.
I had to call my mom, can you
Good.
come pick me up?
Good quarters. They had
And I could have followed through.
A
I could
pipe
have fought
frame
and got in.
with
But I
a
said,
canvas
that's
stuck
something that's a
between it.
sign that I'm not supposed to go in the
And
military.
do you know what they call our mattress?
I figured that-
We had a
I
mattress
told Rob,
about
that's
this
Maybe
thick.
that's
you put on
because
it.
you were supposed
They
to
called
go
that the
fishing.
fart sack.
Somebody was telling me I wasn't supposed to go in the
That's
military
it,
because
right. They
I was
called that the
healthier
fart
than hell.
sack. You got a
The doctors even
mattress
said that,
and
why
a
don't you
fart
hear?
sack and a blanket,
So, what does that say?
and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear what they called his mattress?
A fart sack.
Yeah, that's what they called the mattress, the fart sack.
Can you imagine all those guys in that?
Oh, isn't that
And
that-
farting
Oh.
and
And when you
breathing
get
and
sick,
sweaty and
you hoped you was on the top.
So you didn't get any splash from the
Yeah,
bottom?
you didn't get any. Yeah,
heave. Were you on the top?
I can't remember.
That was 75 years ago.
I can't remember. But after you've been on it a little while, you get used to it, then you don't get sick anymore. But when you first get on, it's a little sicky.
They didn't have
And,
ground.
and
They didn't have
then
ground.
you stand up to eat. You take a tray, you go through the line, they put the stuff on. Then you stand up, they're big long tables, you have a tray, you stand up to eat. And the ship would go this way. All the trays would slide that way. Then they'd go back the other way. Then you'd hurry and grab one that wasn't full of puke. And then when they came back, past you back this way, you grab one that wasn't full of puke. If that, let that go, look for a better one.
Well, hang on to the one you had, dummy.
Now that wasn't as fun, huh?
Well, you had to learn.
You weren't a baker on the ship, were you?
Huh?
Did you help bake on the ship?
Did I what?
Bake.
No, I did not. Not till I got to Majuro.
And you smoke too.
I never did smoke.
You just sold the
He
stuff.
just sold the smokes. He was an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I just.
He didn't drink much either, and it didn't last long if he did.
Will you become good friends with Tom Collins?
Oh, I got to tell you one more bad story. Christmas Eve. Some of the little natives, they were our friends. They brought that a Coca-Cola bottle. It's Juggaroo. We celebrate your Christmas. So we mixed, I think we had Coca-Cola or something, but this was in a Coca-Cola, just white. I said, will you get this Juggaroo? We make it. So we put Juggaroo, and we was playing, we used to play where you bid.
Pokers
No.
or spades?
No.
Pinnacle?
Pinnacle. We played Pinnacle all the time. Chief and buggers. me and my partner. If I'd want him to bid in one, I'd sit there on my table and I'd put one figure out. That meant hearts. I got hearts. I got a lot of spades. I put two. I had a lot of diamonds. You know, give him at least let him have an idea of what I could help him in. You know, when you bid. So anyway, we played cards with those natives, and we drank Juggaroo. So I said, I got to get up in the morning. I'm going to make some bread, sweet rolls, and everything for Christmas morning. When I woke up in the morning, I was laying outside the Kwanzaa hut in the grass, holding on to the grass because the island was tipping over.
So they didn't get their bread or their sweet rolls, huh, Dad?
No. So
Damn island when it moves.
that was only 2 times I was really bad.
You can remember.
I was just going to celebrate with our little friends, and it didn't look bad.
What they call it?
Juggaroo.
Juggaroo. I can't believe you can remember these things.
And they make it out of coconuts. They made everything out of coconuts.
They also, the little natives called him Chubin Mall. Chubin Mall. Funny man.
God,
Funny man.
play with them, tease the hell out of them.
You? Never.
Yeah, Chubin Mall.
Chubin Mall. Funny man.
You weren't a smart ass at all,
and
were
then
you?
my bakery. Everybody had their own Jeep. So one day, and we had a little fire truck, and when they'd blow that siren, there's 3 or 4 volunteers that run get the fire truck. And I called and I said, the bakery's on fire. One of my ovens was just burning. And I stood there and watched that, and I thought, shit, they're just not going to get here. So I jumped in my Jeep, put it together, run around the bakery, run right smack into the fire truck. Tore the whole front wheel off and totaled my Jeep. I mean, and I cut my arm. I should have got the Purple Heart. Yeah, maybe if I look there, it might be a Purple Heart, because there's a little guy there's supposed to be some guy. He sewed that up and put a bandage on it. You're okay. But I cut my arm when I hit that big. I tore the front wheel. I came right in the front wheel of that.
Of the fire truck, huh?
I don't know. I had pictures of that. I don't know where they ever went. But anyway, totaled the fire truck, totaled the Jeep, and we got the fire out.
Well, that's good.
See, I was a hero.
You were, Papa.
Any more like we lost that damn war.
The war was over then.
Yeah. Oh, hell, the depths of it.
Now, what did you say? They had the landing strip,
Yeah,
and what was that for?
because a lot of the planes flying from China
Oh,
and that
to
couldn't make
regas,
it all
to
the way.
refuel.
They'd have to stop there and refuel.
Yeah.
In Majuro?
Huh?
In Majuro?
Yeah.
On the way to Hawaiian Islands or something.
Yeah, they couldn't, big planes couldn't land there.
Right.
But the small ones.
They'd
Yes.
sink the island.
Good little island. But when I came home, in fact, while I was on Majuro, I get papers. Report to the nearest West Coast receiving station in the United States for honorable discharge. Hell, I'm over there on a little island. How the hell can I report? So anyway, I get a ride to Kwajalein, and I sit there. Every day I'd go down to the airport. I need a ride. Well, okay, you can be here at 7:20 tonight. We got one heading to Honolulu. That'll get you further. So I chugged down there with my sea bag over my shoulder. Oh, you've been bumped. The VIPs bumped, yeah, you know. So I'm back to the consulate. So I stayed there for quite a while. Then they put me to work as a baker. And we made French toast one morning. And they had a grill. There was a lot of people. It wasn't different in Majuro. Kwajalein was big, a lot of people. They had a grill about as far from here or to Karma's. And I was cooking French toast. There was two guys ahead of me, dipping and putting them on. And me and another guy in this other group, we were turning. We'd go clear down there, turning, and we'd come back, turn more. And they'd stack these up in the warming ovens, because then when chow time would come, there'd be 3,000 or 4,000 people.
1,000?
In Kwajalein, yeah, a lot of
Wow.
people. Yeah, Majuro, we didn't have very many people. But anyway, so I had to be a damn baker or cook over there for a while. But finally, they said, we got a B-17 going into Hawaii. From there, you should be able to get a ride to the States. So I get in this B-17, you sit in crates, and they're not, you don't have seatbelts, you don't have movies, you don't have a damn thing. You sit on a crate. And then they said, we got to land at Johnson Island first. And look on your book and see how big Johnson Island is. I mean, we're flying, and I'm holding my feet up. I thought, shit, the water was right there. This big old B-17 flying down there. And here's the island here. And that thing came in about this high above the island. And I don't believe he missed 10 feet of island before we was landing. Yeah,
Probably a short runway.
look on there and see if you can find Johnson Island. It was a little...
It's in the Martian Islands, right?
Marshall Islands. Marshall Island. I mean, Johnson. Little sucker. So we get there. So I get to Hawaii. That was worse trying to get a ride out of there than...
You get
I
stuck
can't
there.
believe that they just
Yeah,
release you and then make
Yeah.
you you'd had to find your own ride home.
yeah.
Oh, it's still that way. If they'll release you and they'll be like, okay, find your way home. And you just hop flights.
Wow, Dad.
You see Johnson Island?
It says Johnson Allot, also known as Kalama Allot to the native Hawaiians, is an unincorporated territory of the United States, currently administered by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
Oh, you're looking at the one in Ohio.
No, I'm looking at the one, it says Pacific Ocean.
But anyway, we
She's
landed
such a
on
lady.
Johnson Island. But then I got to Hawaii, and I don't know how the hell I ever got from Hawaii to San Francisco. When we got to San Francisco in the winter, colder than a mother-in-law's heart,
That's how big the island was.
and
A mother-in-law's heart's cold?
and
Oh, wow.
then we'd
Not yours.
given all our pea coats, you know, their big coats and everything, give them away so you didn't have to haul them around all the time. Damn near froze to death.
In San Francisco?
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Damn,
you've
you're
been out
fucking
on the Marshall Islands
Before
forever.
we could get out of there.
And then where'd you, after you got to San Francisco, then did you come home?
Yeah, then I come home.
What'd you do after you got home?
I went to work.
What'd you do for work?
Well, my friends, I'll tell you another cute story. Bud Howick was my
Right.
best friend. He was a year older than I am. So he joined the Navy. So they sent him to Hawthorne, Nevada out here
Hawthorne, Nevada.
For the Navy?
for the Navy. And about once a month, he'd drive his car home. He'd have weekends off. Here, Bud was in his little Navy uniform, and all the girls, and I'm getting in the damn Navy, and I'm going to Hawthorne, Nevada.
You know, I spent time in Hawthorne, Nevada, don't you?
Huh?
You know, I spent time there.
I'm going to go there someday and see
You
where the
did?
naval
Yeah.
base is.
Built a gold mine in Hawthorne,
A
Nevada.
couple of months.
Played the military golf course.
Oh,
9-hole military golf course there in Hawthorne, Nevada.
But continue.
So anyway, I joined the Navy. I'm going to Hawthorne, Nevada. They put me on a ship. I go to China. And I know that isn't close to Hawthorne, Nevada.
No.
So I come home. I says, now I'm going to Hawthorne, Nevada. Wrong. I'll go to Kwajalein. I go to Majuro. Still no Hawthorne, Nevada. And I've still never been to Hawthorne, Nevada.
There ain't much
He
there.
spent his whole life, whole right Navy, never got out of Hawthorne, Nevada.
he said that ship he got on his way to China. He says, day after day, and he says, every morning I'd get up and we were in the same dang place.
I thought, these damn fools are lost. I'd get up and look around. I said, hell, we were here yesterday. And 3 weeks later, we were here yesterday. And the scuttleback, that's when the movers get around. We're going to be in Shanghai Tuesday. I says, if we are in Shanghai, and that's where they're going, we're the luckiest people in the world, because those dumb shits didn't know where we were going. But they didn't have GPSs then.
No,
No, they did everything by.
They would have
By
the
stars.
stars. Yeah, they'd go out there at night and look at this little thing and do this and write stuff down and yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that
they go
would
by the
be
stars.
scary.
And you know
Yeah,
what? Though they never really got lost.
And I said, that dumb shits are lost. Well, there's little guys, there's little natives in their little outriggers. They would get out in that ocean and go to different islands. Same way.
Yeah, isn't that?
Them little kids get in those little outriggers and away they go from island to island.
And
hundreds
little
of
kids,
miles.
like 2 years old or 1 year old, they couldn't walk, but they could swim.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, you know, like our babies crawl. They crawl down the ocean, they're swimming. Hell, they're just all out there. I mean, there wasn't a lot of little kids. I think they said most of the little families were in the island called Laura. Look and see if there's an island named Laura.
But Jim says he never saw any born or he never saw anyone die.
Yeah, unless they just, like the ants, they haul them away. Yeah,
Yeah, it only has a population of 3,000 people.
where?
Hawthorne.
Oh, Hawthorne.
Yeah, it has one street light and
No
one gas
street light.
station. I had to fill up there, or I couldn't get
And
home.
they had a gas station,
Well, they had a couple of them, but one was probably broke down.
but they had a golf course.
Oh yeah, the military base.
The military?
But it was open to the public.
I can get you guys on
So-
any military base.
So we just went and played it one night. It's just a 9-hole little course there, but there's only 3,000 people in Hawthorne.
Okay. Now, have you guys ever played the Hill Air Force Base?
Yeah.
I have.
You've played that, okay.
Yeah.
I have.
'Cause we used to play that when.
Okay,
Where?
Marshall Islands. Let's see if I can see
Okay.
this.
See what islands include in the Marshall Islands.
It's pretty hard to see it, Dad.
Okay. Because I don't know what other islands.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's a U.S. Army ammunition depot, Hawthorne.
Oh,
U.S. Army ammunition depot
Where?
in Hawthorne.
what did it say about the naval base?
It just says there's an Army depot cell there.
How the hell did Navy
I
men
didn't- there's
end
no-
up in an Army base?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
This is
Okay, so you've got the Marshall Islands, New Guinea, Solomon Islands.
You have to know the name of the Marshall Islands.
I got Marshall Islands. It shows Majuro there. So let's
Yeah.
see.
See about
Martian-
Millie.
Millie,
That's another one of the little islands.
Majuro.
They said-
Oh, Millie and Knox.
Okay. Is
Millie and Knox is on the same island.
Yeah, but they're not, you can't go from one another.
No, Millie and Knox are on the same island. One side, one's on one side and one's on the
Okay,
other.
But they're not connected to Majuro.
No.
Yeah, because they used to go to Millie. I remember that.
They just hop on a boat and float out there?
Oh, they got their little outriggers. They paddle.
Oh.
Then they have things that go out there and
Oh,
float.
there's an island called Bikini.
Bikini. That's
Oh,
where the
yeah.
atomic bomb test was.
Oh.
I saw the atomic bomb test there.
Jim says they watched it.
The Bikini.
Wow. But I don't see an island named Lara.
Okay, well that's one of their little places. Maybe one of the little towns in one of those islands. But they don't. I don't know. Now they got everything, but there was no electricity.
You know, I booked someone to the Marshall Islands once.
You what?
I booked someone flying into the Martian Islands
Now,
once.
Kwajalein, I'm sure that would probably be part of the Marshall Islands.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's because it's big.
Yeah, Kwajalein is, probably 6 of Majuro.
Yeah, and then some.
And then some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's part of the Marshall Islands.
Kili is another island.
Who?
Kili.
Teely.
Kili.
I don't remember that
Sheely.
one.
No, Kili.
Teely.
Key.
K.
Keely.
I don't remember that one.
Is that like when she gets confused with our names?
You should have heard Grandma Isla. Your dad kept calling me Michelle.
Were you pissed off at her?
not a lot.
See, a lot of people really didn't have the great career I did. Well,
I thought it was pretty decorated. It sounds like it.
Sounds like it was a
I
fun
should
one.
have the Purple Heart because I got cut right there when I crashed my Jeep.
Yeah, Dad.
I totaled my Jeep. I totaled the fire truck. I sunk a PT boat. But I had a lot of help. We all took turns on that. I didn't get full credit for that.
Were
so-
you giggling the whole time you guys were doing this?
Huh?
Were you guys laughing the whole time you guys are doing this?
No, we weren't laughing. We wanted to get our job done. We were serious sailors. But it's funny. That landing craft,
They were serious.
the
sailors.
water was rough. And you'd be looking right down in the water. And then pretty soon you was looking straight up in the sky. And the boat, when you was up there, the boat was down here. Then you'd...
And you're just hoping
There's
to
a
switch at one
a
point.
swell behind us.
And this officer wanted that PT boat.
Yeah.
Well, he can't do that, can he? Couldn't take
Did
that.
you know Maduro is
I guess if you're an admiral, you can do whatever you,
You can
want.
do whatever you want once you get so many stars under you.
That's
Dad,
right.
Maduro is the capital of Marshall Islands.
No fooling.
Yeah. Wow.
Because there wasn't much there when we were there.
There probably isn't much there,
46,
still there.
56, 66, 76, 86, 96, 116. 60, 70 years ago. So I guess they have a little improvement.
But yeah, when I booked this person, and she says I need to go into the Marshall Islands, and I went, oh, my dad served in the
Okay,
Marshall
I got to
Islands.
tell you a cute story. Here, maybe 5 years ago, this lady came in the tree lot. She had these, maybe 3 kids. They're all different colors. I says, that's a cute family. I says, where did you get all these? She said, I got this little black guy in New York or someplace. And she said, this other little guy, I got him in the Marshall Islands. I says, which island? She says, Majuro. And so I had to tell her the story about I was in Majuro, that she'd got him from Majuro.
Wow.
And then she had another kind of another kid. So she had three different culture of kids.
Isn't that wonderful?
You know, Emily's sister does. She's got twins. They're both black little kids, and then she's got another one, and they're from Africa. And they are black.
They're blacker than black.
They are black.
My little neighbor up the street, she has a little Chinese girl that she got in China. And then she has a little black girl that she got in New York. And they're darling. Those kids are so lucky to have those parents because they're so loved, so taken care of.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the little Asian girl, Mom, why did I have to be an Asian?
Yeah.
Is that what she says?
Why was I born Asian?
That's where Heavenly
there's-
Father needed you at the
There's
time.
there's a picture of Majuro. Big, long, skinny island.
Yeah.
Her name's Kathy. Katie.
See now,
She's
here
the
is
airport.
where
That's
we
the
used
airport.
to
Kate, they call her. And she said...
swim and everything. It's kind of in a horseshoe shape.
Her mom says...
Yeah,
June
it's in a
was
horseshoe
her
shape.
favorite food.
This outside was real rough, but we had
Rice.
a barge.
You can swim on the inside. Where it's,
Yeah, we had a barge out there. We'd swim out and
She
swim
it looks
off
like a
there.
long, skinny island.
Yeah,
A
Horseshoe
new,
shape.
new baby.
yeah.
And by
Yeah,
the
looks
time
like you
they
could probably
got
swim
through
right
all
there.
the red tape, the baby was 6
Where it's
months
shallow.
old.
Yeah, we had a barge
Yeah.
anchored out there, and we'd go out there and swim off that.
There's the military. There's the airport.
Yeah, exactly.
Where'd you drop your cigarettes?
Huh? See where that airport is? That's where your father-in-law is standing, right?
There's the landing strip.
Where where I had the uniform of the day.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, we're standing right on that airport, right there,
Oh, were you?
The uniform of the day.
in the uniform of
Didn't
the
you
day.
ever have to get dressed up for inspections or anything?
We have to put on a T-shirt.
Were they white?
They're all sure there's white. What
At
kind
one
do you think
point-
they'd be?
I know what they'd be if you had to wash them and keep them up.
Oh, you had to be.
They were probably green.
You had to be neat.
No,
They
white. That's right. Navy is
Okay.
white.
All white.
Yeah.
did they have washers and dryers over there, honey?
And had maids that did your work for you.
Enough said, huh?
Did you really?
No, I couldn't. I never found one if they did. Oh, but look now. I was in Shanghai. Are those whites white?
Those are whites.
Yeah, but that's before you got to the.
Yeah, that was before you got to Majuro.
Oh, I never wore them after that. No, I didn't.
You didn't even have to wear them going home?
No, we wore your blues because you're going to the cold country. You never wore your whites very much.
Did you wear them on ship? When you were going on and off ship?
You had blue Levi's. You had to wear long Levi's and just a T-shirt on the ship. Then you had to wear real clothes.
There's Kwajalein.
I bet you don't see many trees on Kwajalein.
No. It looked like
Yeah. Yeah, that they says the Japs were bunkered down in Kwajalein and they just pounded that by air and sea for days before they ever invaded it.
See, Uncle Fritz, wasn't it the Marshall Islands that Fritz went over to help clean up?
Guam.
Not the Marshall Islands, one the other islands.
Yeah, it was Guam. I remember you saying
Yeah, that was
it was
worse.
Guam.
Okay, but he went over to help clean up. And he says those Japs didn't even know the war was over.
no.
They found some Japanese on an island and in the 60s. No, late 60s.
Well, that was up by Alaska.
And they didn't know that yeah.
That was an island up by Alaska.
And they didn't know
The war
that
was
the
over.
war was over, and they thought they were still
They
fighting.
left them there. That was an island. Yeah, it was an island off Alaska.
But that wasn't a warm spot.
I
They
think I read that story before.
they'd go to those caves. They just
Didn't you say that they'd smoke them out?
they'd use that
Flamethrowers, burn them out.
burn them out.
Because it sucks the oxygen out of it too. So Nikki's dad, when he was in Vietnam, Nikki's dad's Japanese, right? And they had him running point on all of the missions, and he was a tunnel rat, and he would be the first one down into the tunnels in Vietnam.
They say those tunnel rat people.
It explained.
Well, Joel up the street, he was a tunnel rat.